Welcome back. So we've looked at the Greeks, the Romans, the ancient Chinese. Now let's take a look at a modern classic. I've got two books here by Robert Cialdini. One of them is called Influence. The original of this was 35 years ago. This is the modern classic on influence and persuasion. And even though this is 35 years old, it's been updated and updated and updated. I got this for 12 bucks on Amazon. Oh, better not mention that name. He's making too much money already. And it got delivered overnight, by the way. Recently, he updated it with this book here, Persuasion, A Revolutionary Way to Influence and Persuade. Now, I think these kind of books are very, very useful, sometimes more useful than textbooks. But I'll leave that with you.
I'd certainly recommend you read one of those books or try and download one as an audiobook. But in the meantime, let me tell you about Cialdini's 6 weapons of influence. Reciprocity, consistency, consensus, also known as social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. And here's a bonus for you. From his latest book, Persuasion, here is his 7th weapon of influence, unity. I think you're going to recognize a lot of these weapons of influence. Perhaps they've been used on you. They've certainly been used on me. Take this first one, reciprocity. Can you see the pen in the picture? Isn't it pretty? It was sent to me by one of these charities. I told you a lot of charities send me stuff, right? It didn't last very long, but the point is they send you a nice little gift worth not very much and then ask you for a bigger favor, and you feel more obliged to send them the big favor, in this case a financial contribution. Consistency or commitment is an interesting one. Companies often use this. They get you to sign up for something for a trial period or for a free chapter of a book, or for a protection plan for, let's say, a cell phone. I have a feeling that I am still paying the protection plan for my cell phone after 4 years. I remember signing up for it at a discount for the first 3 months, thinking I would stop paying after 3 months. I should do something about that. This is also useful for your own planning. If you have a big project that you need to do, take the first step straight away, the same day. Once you've started, you're more likely to commit to carry on. So you can use some of these weapons on yourself. This is like psychological warfare. And you know this one works. Social proof. Everyone's doing it. That whole peer pressure thing, whether it's smoking weed or back in the day smoking cigarettes, surely nobody's still doing that now, or anything that's encouraged on social media. And when you think about it, Cialdini wrote this way before social media was invented. How many people forced their lips into a shot glass and then sucked to try and get their lips to look like one of these ladies? How many people actually got skin damage or muscle damage because of that? But it happened, right? Okay, more than that, how many people have had chunks of fat taken out of part of their body and squirted into another part of their body, all because one of these ladies managed to balance a champagne glass on her bottom? This is social proof. This is real. Oh, and by the way, have a look at this. The liking principle is very simple, but often overlooked. We are more likely to buy something from somebody that we like. We are more likely to be persuaded by somebody that we like, even if this goes against our sense of logic or our personal feelings about the product. And this works in politics too. I met this guy, I hung out with him before he became a politician. And whether you agree with him or not, whether his politics are the same as yours or not, he is a very likable guy in person. He has this strange charisma. He's very easy to get on with and very friendly and good at making the human connection one-on-one. That might be the secret to his success, apart from his dad. You can use the liking principle in the hospitality industry. I like independent cafes. There are plenty to choose from in Toronto. I go to cafes regularly when I like the person working behind the counter or the owner. Doesn't matter whether they're male or female. It's about that connection. That will make me a regular customer. Now you can also use this principle when you are trying to come to a business agreement. Have a read through this experiment. The next one, authority, is straight out of Aristotle. Ethos again, the credibility of the speaker. If you respect the person telling you what to do or persuading you, you are more likely to do it. You are very likely to do it. And this does not have to be a person. It could also be a book that you believe in, that's telling you how to behave, that's suggesting what you should do. Or it could be an organization. I worked for one of them, the BBC, or CNN, or Fox News. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. It is amazing what people will do because they respect the source of the information. I'm thinking the people who flew into the Twin Towers in New York on September the 11th. They didn't do it because it was logical. They didn't do it because they thought, oh, this will feel good. They did it because they respected the man who gave the command. A tall, striking, former warrior who they saw as a hero. We've all had this one used on us before, haven't we? Scarcity. By now, we've only got 2 left. There's only 2 seats left on this plane, if you've ever booked through Expedia or any of these other booking sites. Amazon, only 3 left in stock. You know this technique works. And what about this picture? It's this yellow metal called gold. It's not that useful. Apparently it's quite good in headphone cables, if I believe the commercials. But the reason it's so powerful, so persuasive, is because there's not very much of it. They say that all the gold in the world could fit underneath the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Some of my Indian students have told me that half the gold in the world is buried under housewives' houses. I am yet to verify that, but I'll take their word for it. My Auntie Betty is not short of a few bars either. And the final one, the new one, is unity. And this is huge right now. Anything to do with politics in America, for example. It's all about which side you're on. It's all about the group that you belong to, or it's about your ethnicity. It's about what family you belong to. It's about the church you belong to. And the influencer uses this to persuade you to do something, to buy something, to behave in a particular way. This goes way back. This goes back to the psychology of Jung that we talked about in the last class. It's the idea of this shared collective personality. And it goes back even further, even before Aristotle, to tribalism. And today, the influence of the tribe is very, very powerful. And whatever you think of this guy, whether you love him or you hate him, you think he's stupid, you think he's smart, he is brilliant at using the unity principle to influence people's thoughts and behavior. Absolutely brilliant at it. Whether it's his love of fast food, his pretense that he's the common man, the sports teams he's talking about, the golf, the local factory, the whatever product it is in the city that he's speaking in, he taps into it and gets into the hearts and souls of the people at his events very effectively. For a politician who thrives on divisiveness, on dividing people, he is also brilliant at using the unity principle. Did you learn anything today? I hope so. I spent so many hours making this video with a little filming help from my daughter, the little 5-year-old we were talking about before, is no longer 5. Aristotle, Cicero, Sun Tzu, Robert Cialdini, the American military, and, of course, the military kiss. Listen, I am hoping that this is possibly one of the most useful lectures you've ever had. And your homework is to test some of these principles in real life. I'd like you to test out any 2 of these persuasive techniques and try and get something you want, or try and persuade somebody to do something you want them to do using a couple of these techniques. I'm not going to grade you doing this. This is for you. Okay? This is intrinsic motivation. What you are going to do for me is this week's quiz, which is Self-Insight 6.2. It won't take you very long. And if you have not finished any of the other quizzes, catch up now. Stay on track and you'll be fine. If you leave it any longer, you're going to fall behind because we've still got a few things to do. Next class, we're beginning our team assignments.